What's going on, YouTube world? Have you heard resellers saying things like $5,000, $10,000, even $15,000 a month in sales? Of course you have. Even I did it. But don't be misled by these numbers. And I wasn't trying to be misleading with what I put out, and I'm sure other resellers weren't trying to be misleading either. I was trying to inspire, because hearing numbers like that can be inspirational.
You are an inspiration.
But today we're going to talk about what it really means to be a successful reseller on eBay. We're going to do this by taking a close look at my sales from last month. And I'm going to let you know how much profit I made from those sales last month and how many hours I put in to make that profit.
There's a lot of math.
I'm great at math.
Let's get into the video. My name is Jason, aka Mr. Llama, the not-so-better half of The Lazy Llamas, which is the eBay store that I run with my wife, Mrs. Llama. My wife and I, we own a gym that is our full-time business. We've owned the gym for almost 9 years, and we started reselling on eBay part-time about 3 years ago. And we grew our eBay business from $0 to $10,000 a month in sales in less than 2 years.
Wow, you must be rich.
Now, as we're going to talk about today, $10,000 a month is not our profit.
So you're not rich anymore?
Correct.
$10,000 a month is gross sales. Of course, there are expenses that go into an eBay business. Cost of goods sold, which means the cost to get the inventory that I flip to resell on eBay. There is gas when you go out sourcing.
Did we do gas prices?
There is supplies for shipping. There's lots of fees from eBay itself that have to come into account when you talk about your gross sales and net profit from your eBay business. Now, I have here my report from my sales last month. My total sales from March of 2023 was $5,899.87. Now, you're saying that's not even close to $10,000.
You lied to us?
We've been selling on eBay for 3 years. We grew it to making $10,000 a month in gross sales in 2 years. So last year at this time, we were doing over $10,000 a month in sales. I think actually, I might do another report, but I think February we did over 11,000. I think we did over 11,000 every month last year in the first quarter. Some things have happened between then and now, so I don't put as much time into eBay. For one, we had our 4th child last year, so of course I have to devote a little bit more time to my home life with a new baby. Also, cost of labor has gone up significantly over the last couple of years, so we've had to actually cut back our payroll here at the gym, so I am having to put in more hours here at the gym because as the owner and chief operator, you know, all the slack has to be picked up by me. So I am putting more hours into the gym, which takes time away from eBay. And then for the last month or so, I've actually been putting a lot more time into this YouTube channel. So I'm having to split time between eBay and the YouTube channel and getting the YouTube channel started. So that's why this is down to like 6,000, where last year this time we were doing well over $10,000 a month.
Well, thank you for your honesty.
In between the gym and eBay and the YouTube channel, I'm putting in a lot of hours every week. I'm very thankful for a very understanding wife. Well, mostly understanding. I do occasionally get those not so subtle hints and signals that I need to get my butt home. Husbands, learn your wife's signals. Very important.
Happy wife, happy life sort of stuff.
Okay, so if we look at our sales from March, it's $5,899.87. And I'm going to put this up on the screen so you can follow along with me. And if you go across that top line, it's going to show costs and fees collected by eBay and going to give you a net sales. This is not net profit, this is net sales. $3,967.17. Now that total sales number, the $5,899, that's what most eBay resellers will tout as their sales on eBay, which is fine. It's an important metric, but it's not the most important metric. This is a metric of success. I am not saying that total gross sales is not a metric of success. It absolutely is a metric of success. But a far more important metric is net profit. And our net profit from last month was $1,275, roughly. So out of this $3,967.17 of net sales, we made a gross profit after our expenses of $1,275.
Not too shabby.
Very important metric. That means that you actually made money, which is the reason we do business. But this, however, is also not the most important metric. The most important metric is profit time ratio.
What the heck is that?
That means how much time did I put in to make that $1,275 in profit. And I can tell you here lately, I've been averaging about 10 hours a week working on eBay. Now I'm going to be right up front and honest with you. You're probably not going to be able to do these kinds of numbers with just 10 hours a week when you start out.
That's too bad.
I've spent the last 3 years building relationships where I can get bulk items, wholesale things. You know, I can have things actually just delivered to me. I don't have to go out and source for some things anymore. So I've built relationships in a network where I don't have to source like I used to. So that's why our numbers are down. I don't go out sourcing like I used to. I don't go out yard selling and thrifting like I used to. As I've said in previous videos, relationships are very key to an eBay business. The more relationships you build, the more sources that you make, so you can get inventory. It's going to help your eBay business grow while putting less stress and work on yourself.
I have something to look forward to.
But we'll just take me, for example. This is what we're working with. To make this $1,275, I worked an average of 10 hours a week, or 40 hours for the month, roughly, which breaks down to about $32 an hour. And I don't mind working for $32 an hour. Now, let's just say, for instance, your eBay store profits $1,000 in a month. That's not a bad profit. That's a decent side income if you're doing it part-time. But what if it took you 125 hours in that month to get that $1,000 profit? That's about $8 an hour that you're making. That's about 25 to 27 hours a week that you're putting into eBay, and you're only making $1,000. It's like $8 an hour. It's basically minimum wage. That's not a good profit to time ratio. Now, let's say, for instance, you make less profit. You make $750 in the month, but it only takes you 40 hours, 10 hours a week like I'm doing, and you make $750 in the month as profit. That's $19 an hour. I mean, that's not a bad gig, $19 an hour. Most people would take that as a little side hustle for 10 hours a week. So that's a good profit to time ratio. It's not always just about net profit. Net profit's important. If you're not making a profit, what are you doing it for?
For knowledge, for understanding, for the good of mankind.
But just because you're making a profit doesn't mean that your time profit, or profit time ratio, I should say, is good. If your profit and time ratio isn't good, sometimes you got to make money. You got to do what you got to do. But your time is valuable, and you're valuable.
Oh, thank you.
I'm going to put some numbers on the screen here from a year ago around this time, just to show you that we're legit. We were doing over $10,000 a month in sales, and we did our first sale on eBay June of 2020, and by June of 2022, we were doing well over $10,000 a month in gross sales, and we were making more profit. I don't know if I was making quite $32 an hour back then. I'd have to go back and look at the numbers and stuff and really crunch like what our profit was, and kind of, I was putting a minimum of 20 hours a week in back then. Between 20 and 25 hours a week I was putting in back then. And we were probably making, I would say, an average profit every month of around $3,000. So, yeah, I'm not good at math off the top of my head. I had the other math here in front of me. That's why I was able to do it so quickly. I'm an idiot. I mean, we can simplify it. $3,000 profit, we'll just say that was our average. And I was doing 100 hours a month, $30 an hour. So it's not rocket science. So it's close to what I'm doing now. Same profit time ratio. So as long as it's a profit time ratio that you're comfortable with, if you're comfortable with $8 an hour, that's fine. But like I said, your time is valuable. You're valuable. To make sure that you're listing good items that are going to have a good profit margin and then are going to sell fast, I'm going to put a link to a video that I did on how to find items to sell on eBay. So check that out. It will definitely help that profit time ratio when you're first getting started. And we're going to end the video there. In case you don't know, God loves you. I love you, and we'll see you next time. Peace.